Bees are extremely important to Sacramento because they keep the city, the natural life in the city, flourishing. If you like taking a walk in the park and seeing all the greenery and flowers around you, then that's thanks to bees. Bees are basically the biggest pollinator of most of the foods that we eat. So if you like eating fruits or vegetables or basically anything that comes out of a flower, then you have bees to thank for that. Well, bees are usually the main pollinator of native plants, and native plants are extremely important to conserving the biodiversity of California. So bees are essentially stewards of that biodiversity.
And there are some groups of bees that are specialists, meaning that they feed or collect pollen from only a narrow group of plants. And some specialist bees only collect pollen from certain species or certain genus of plants. So in order to maintain the diversity of some of those groups of plants, we need their pollinators.
There are so many native Californian plants that you can put in your garden or around your home. For example, there are some bushes, like Manzanita bushes, that flower in winter. So those will be a really good source of pollen and nectar to bees in a season where there aren't that many other flowers as a food source. There are plenty of plants to choose from for spring and summer. Plants like the native California sunflower. There are plants like the California poppy, which you've definitely seen on the roadside and places like that.
Things like Phacelias, which bees are really attracted to. Bees like buckwheats, lupines are really great for bees. Coyote mint seems to be really attractive. There are a lot of really great native plants that bees love.
There's so many things that you can do to help the bees. Other things that you can do if you have a garden or if you have access to a public space where you can plant flowers is to plant flowers. If you cycle plants throughout the seasons that will be flowering at different times especially, that can be a really big help to bees because then they'll have a food source that you've provided all year round.
We can also provide nesting habitat for bees. So most of our native bees like to nest in the ground. Just having some areas of bare soil is great for those ground nesting bees. Pithy stemmed plants are great for the bees that nest in cavities, so things like elderberry, wildrose, Penstemon.
If you own a garden, or even if you are involved in your local community and the management practices of wildlife or vegetation in your area, you should encourage people around you and yourself to avoid using pesticides and spraying those because sometimes those can very negatively affect native bee populations.
Bees come in all shapes and sizes, so it's really important to plant a variety of types of flowers in your garden. So different shapes, different colors, plants that flower at different times. The more variety you have in your garden, the more diversity of bees your garden will support.